Lego set 10127, because sometimes the best Bionicle sets aren't even Bionicle. Hey guys, Oso here, and a while back I bought this specific Lego set to review because it really stood out to me. I actually only discovered this set while working on the Lego Sports Happy Meal reviews and knew just by the parts list alone this was a must buy. Lego Hockey, a sub-theme of Lego Sports from 2003 to 2004, was one of the only sports sub-themes to go heavily into Technic-based sets. The vast majority of these sets used the Technic build system, and even the two system sets that were released for Hockey used Technic for the play function. I'm not going to go too much into the history of this theme because frankly there's nothing really notable about it. Sure, it did partner with the NHL and the set canisters could be used as water bottles, but I'm not a fan of hockey, and all I can think about when I see those sports water bottles is how many kids probably got sick from the mold that grew from those things. Luckily the set I ordered came in a box and was sealed, so I don't gotta worry about touching ancient, probably dormant child germs. The box was kinda old however, and I think it was stored at a damp location by the old owner because I couldn't just open it with the press tab on the side, but luckily I had other means of opening my epic children's toy. The first thing that caught my eye was the instruction book. I really do appreciate the old renders from the early 2000s of these Lego sets, and I'm sad the company lost the sauce because they're never really that notable anymore. This is just cool, and I can't put into words why I feel that way. In the back of the instructions, there's also examples of trick shots you could do with the play feature of the set, but from what I can tell, you need 2 hockey pucks to even do any of them. But the kicker is the set only includes 1. Why they decided to only include 1 is kind of baffling because how easy this piece could be lost, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually thought I was missing a set, so I went to BrickLink and oh my god, what the fuck is this Lego? Why is the search logo blue? From a web design perspective, it is such a stupid downgrade. Look at the old search logo. You want to know what it and The Simpsons have in common? The yellow, obviously, because it's yellow, and it's yellow for an amazing reason, because it catches your attention. It's something your eyes see first when you're mindlessly scrolling. Like most people at this point, I use a dark background on my search engine, and that does make the blue less noticeable. BrickLink is going downhill, and the site is not the same as it was a few years ago, but that's a video for another day. The set also comes with a ton of stickers. I think every NHL team is on here, and they come in 2 sizes, so if you're a diehard Lego and hockey fan, there's great potential here to customize your minifigures. But for the purpose of this set, you could customize the helmet and chest pieces by adding these stickers onto them. There's also numbers included so you can match your favorite player's jersey. I'm sure there's no controversy behind that one. Did you know hockey players actually wear kanohi? The faceplates worn by the hockey figures in this Lego set actually have the same form of connection like Bionicle masks from the early 2000s, though to be fair, the stud they connect to the face with are much longer than the Bionicle masks themselves. The longer stud actually reminds me of this bootleg Bionicle mask that I have, but I'm sure that's just purely coincidental. What's interesting is the faceplates included with the set are connected to this runner, similar to model kits. Lego really doesn't do this often anymore, but this was a lot more common in the mid to late 20th century, so to see it still being used here is cool, but I don't think I'm gonna sand these parts because that seems weird to do with Lego. Plus, I'm not gonna remove the other 2 faceplates from the sprue because I want to keep them mostly intact, but it is cool Lego gave you face customization for this set. I'll instead take the coolest face here, this dork with the buck teeth. Seriously, I could see a Dark Hunter, for example, use this face. It's very brute coded. Also, am I going crazy, or is this faceplate just literally the Newgrounds Tank Man? Oh, and also, these masks fit Metru heads, giving them insane mocking potential when you account for the fact that the top of the Metru skull has an axle connection point. These faceplates are not expensive on the secondhand market, and they offer a fresh new way of making cool original characters. There are also examples online of people using these faceplates for masks, but they're always hockey-based mocks, except for this one. I think these specific pieces have a lot of potential outside of just hockey. Hell, that might be a mock idea I gotta work on. Stay tuned for that. The torso for this set is also pretty weird. It's just this giant chunk of plastic. The part has a ton of connection points, but for the life of me, I can't imagine mocking with this. and using it as a torso. It does vaguely resemble a Toamata slash Toanuva torso, and surprisingly, it was included in a Bionicle part pack back in 2006, 3 years since it was last used in a LEGO set. Probably LEGO trying to get rid of old parts they had in storage, and it probably looked vaguely Bionicle enough that they just threw it in. One of the neater pieces that come in this set is this chest piece. This part can easily make for great chest armor for a beefier Bionicle or Hero Factory mock. What's nice about this chest piece is that unlike the Nuva chest armor that acts as a full torso armor piece, this hockey chest armor appears to only be upper body, meaning you can get away with more customization and torso articulation. Also, something super neat is this piece perfectly fits in the Toa Mata torso, but not in the way that you'd think it would. The Mata torso actually fits in the grooves of the hockey chest, and it's a pretty solid connection. I'm kind of surprised it was never rebundled with any of the Bionicle part packs. Oh look, an actual Bionicle part. This set comes with a Tahunga head, specifically the 2003 recolor in light gray. Nothing very interesting here, but what is interesting is this one solid square part. In the hockey sets, it acts as a helmet for the character, and with how small the face mask is, it's able to all come together and make a pretty decent cartoony hockey player face. I actually tried to recreate it with a Bionicle mask, but it didn't work out too well. Most of the Bionicle masks are too big, and there's not much room on the head. So then I tried to use the Vahi, but then I learned the mask at time doesn't even fit on the Tahunga head, unless you add a round stud plate on the back of it. It looks really wonky, but I bet this would look halfway decent with an orange Vahi and an orange hockey helmet. I gotta give LEGO credit because reusing this Tahunga headpiece and also reusing the hockey helmet piece as shoulder armor for reuse uplink from Exoforce is resourceful. Hands down, the coolest original part from this set is this hockey stick blade. It just screams early Bionicle weapon. Like, if you had 2 of these, this would make for a perfect Rockshi staff piece, or how I used it here as a Matoran bludgeoning weapon, a great deviation from the standard sharp Bionicle weapon you're used to. This piece scales perfectly with smaller Bionicle characters, and I just had to let myself mock hold it and pose with it. Alright, that's enough going over each individual part. Let's build this piece of crap. And here we have the guy. Pretty cool set with an awesome play feature. Very reminiscent of the LEGO Sports Happy Meal. It's very fun to play with and honestly really harkens back to the early days of Bionicle, where original play features were way more emphasized than they would be later on in the series' lifespan. And no, I didn't forget. The reason why I consider this the best non-Bionicle but Bionicle enough LEGO set is because of shoulder armor. This set includes 6 pairs of original Nuva shoulder armor in recolors. What's super awesome about this is the parts are all in Mata colors. Up to this point, Bionicle sets only had Nuva shoulders in silver, gold, gunmetal, and later on a few Metru recolors. We'd only get Mata white shoulder armor in an actual Bionicle set in 2010, 7 years after this set came out. Well, actually 6 years because white was included in a part pack in 2004. At time of release, this set sold for $9, making it an excellent part pack for its time. Nuva shoulders are one of the most versatile armor pieces that come out of Bionicle. People have been using this part for heads, motorcycle windscreens, sword pommels, Kanoe, and yeah, people have been using Nuva shoulders as Bionicle boobies too. Anyways, I swapped out the silver shoulder armor on my Tahu Nuva to see what he looked like with red shoulder armor, and I quite liked it. Something I noticed Tahu loses when he upgrades is always his red for some reason, and giving the boy just a little more of it here to me looked a lot better. Tahu, however, doesn't really seem to notice his shoulder armor upgrade ever since Golly got her Nuva armor implants. Okay, show's over, folks. I know I haven't been making a lot of Bionicle content lately, but that should probably change soon. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for watching. This has been Oso, and all I can say is subscribe, and I'll see you next time.